what they did to Florida State was wrong, 100% wrong. There is no justification for what they did. If I am the fourth ranked team in the country and I go undefeated and I win my conference championship, and the number one team loses in their conference championship, you have a choice to make. You have a choice.
And it's not a hard one.
It's really not. It's not that hard. You either you drop Georgia from 1 to 4 because they was the consensus number one team all year long, or you take Georgia completely out, and there is no representative from the SEC, and Texas, with one loss, moves in. And the reason why this would happen was because Texas beat the SEC champion head-to-head.
At home.
At home. That's why that happens. This is why the SEC, if anybody was going to represent the SEC, it should be Georgia, because they are the reigning national champion. Not Alabama.
I thought this was common sense.
I mean, that's what I thought. I mean, I don't get it. And then the excuse that the committee gave, oh, their quarterback got hurt. Really? That's your excuse?
Bullshit.
Can I ask you a question?
Please do.
Okay. In 2014, who was the starting quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes?
You said 2014?
Yeah, when they won the national championship.
When they won the national championship? I want to say it was Cardale Jones, correct?
Nope.
No.
Okay. See, this is I tried to, this is okay, cool. So Braxton Miller was the starting quarterback for Ohio State in the beginning of the season. You know what happened to Braxton Miller?
He got hurt.
You know who came in? Boom. See? JT Barrett.
Oh, thank you. I knew it would. Thank you. JT Barrett.
JT Barrett.
It's like another one of them shifty fast dudes. Yes.
Right. You know what happened to JT Barrett?
Also got hurt.
He got hurt before the Michigan-Ohio State game. Insert Cardale Jones. What does Cardale Jones go and do?
Thank you.
Beats Michigan, wins the Big Ten championship, wins the national championship. That was their third string quarterback.
Didn't they call him Cadillac Jones, something like that? They called him that. But I remember he had a rocket arm. I remember his arm was massive.
So what just happened to Florida? What just happened to Florida State? Didn't their backup or third string quarterback just win the ACC championship?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have precedents already set that a third string quarterback can take over a team and win a national championship.
Correct.
So this argument that they're not the same team as they've been because they lost their starting quarterback. Well, so did Ohio State.
Both.
So this precedent's already set. So you can't use that. You can't say, well, we've never seen this. Yes, we did.
I was going to say, so basically, people can't use the excuse that we've never seen it before because it's actually been done already.
Right. So,
okay. Gotcha.
So basically, you host Florida State just to put Alabama in? That's pretty much what this, and this notion of, well, it's a business and they got to put Alabama's going to bring more eyes to the TV. I don't give a fuck. They lost. They lost. The purpose of college football, they say this all the time. You cannot lose in college football. You can't. You don't play enough games. You don't. So you can't afford to lose games. Florida State went 13-0. 13
and won the championship and won the ACC championship.
And they keep saying how good the SEC is. Do you know the SEC had a losing record against all Power 5 conferences?
Nobody wants to talk about that, though.
The Big Ten had a winning record against the SEC.
Nobody wants to talk about that, though.
Pac-12 winning record against the SEC.
Big bad SEC, and nobody can compete in the SEC. That's all I heard when all of these moves was being made. You remember that?
Sometimes your conference is just not the best. And that's okay. It is what it is. But don't, and I hate, what about the last couple of years? This is not about the last couple of years. This is about this year. This year, the SEC was 7-9 against the other Power 5 conferences. 7-9. So if your best team, which was Georgia all year long, they was number one. If they lose in the conference championship, which they did, you have a choice. Either you drop them down to number 4 or you remove the SEC altogether. And you let the Big Ten champion represent, the Pac-12 champion represent, the Big 12 representative, and then the ACC.
Which is what it should have been.
That's the way it goes. Because the team with the one loss in all of that is Texas, but they beat Alabama head-to-head.
Mm-hmm. Who beat Georgia. So they probably would get the, which is why I understood, which is why I understood at the end of the day the Texas not, right? I could get it, right? I can get with that. But there's no possible way people are gonna sit up here and convince me that Alabama is it, because if that's what people want to classify this as, right? The 4 best teams, right? You're not gonna sit up here and convince me that Alabama is one of the 4 best teams, right?
No.
When they cap off a 3-point victory against the number 1 team in the nation. That does not mean that they can just jump up for that. That I don't know what logic people are using into which Alabama can jump up legitimately 4 spots to number 4.
From 8 to 4.
From 8 to 4 off a 3-point victory.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely asinine. If anything, Alabama honestly shouldn't have still made it. If you're going to put an SEC team in there, you have to put Georgia in there because of the defending national champs. And that one loss does not define their season.
Because my thing is, they're trying to say that, Florida State's quarterback didn't look impressive in the ACC championship game. Okay, well,
you mean the true freshman that hasn't played all season? Of course he didn't.
Neither did Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe didn't complete a pass until almost the end of the second quarter.
Jalen Milroe got benched in the beginning of the season, did he not?
Yes, he did. Most certainly.
That's crazy because he literally got benched right after they lost to Texas.
So I don't, the arguments that they're making, they're not holding it all the way through for every single person. Like, doesn't make sense.
And if that's the case, right? If that's the case, right? If quarterback play matters, right? Because this is the thing that's making me mad about this whole thing, right? Because everybody's sitting there talking about, oh, well, they'll get obliterated, they're going to get dominated. First of all, no, they're not, because that's how I know you guys haven't been watching games, because that defense is really, really good.
Florida State defense is nasty.
It's crazy. Really, that front 7 is absolutely disgusting. Along with their DBs, it's absolutely just like people are, especially with those matchups. The ball's not getting moved to how people think it's going to get moved, right?
So what happens?
So there's that aspect, right? But then they want to put all of this on this quarterback. Oh well, the quarterback. Bro, I get it, right? He's a third string. He's a true freshman. He hadn't played all season. He's not going to be the one. He wasn't going to be the one to play to play in the playoffs. The second string was going to come back to play in the playoffs. The guy who hung 56 on who was it? Freaking damn, I fucking forget. But he literally hung 56. The day that Jordan Travis got hurt and left the goddamn game, the second string came in and hung 56 points on whoever team that fucking was. Don't even remember the team. That's how relevant they were.
Even if he was the guy, when do they play this game? When do they play this game?
It's the game's in like 2 weeks.
Still? January 7th.
Like, come on, bro. Like,
so you mean to tell me they can get him ready by January 7th?
And not to mention, he only had a concussion. It's not like he broke anything. It's not like he was out for the season. He had a concussion. He was in concussion protocol. He was a game time decision. Or no, the reason why everybody was so up in arms about Florida State, because he was a game time decision, and they decided to go with the true freshman quarterback because they felt that they were going to make the playoffs and they were going to be able to save their second string so that he can be able to play in the playoffs, and because they knew that we can win this with our defense on our second string. That's not a fucking problem. So if it's all about the goddamn quarterback, then y'all might as well hand Jordan Travis the fucking Heisman Trophy right now. There shouldn't be any discussion.
If that's what you're telling me. That's pretty much what you're telling me. You're telling me that he's that important.
He's that important. He's that good.
That they won't even put them in the playoffs because he's not.
Can't even consider him for the playoffs, bro. Give him the Heisman right now. Right now. Walk him the Heisman right now. Go ahead and pick him up in the Lyft or in the Uber or in the limo, however the fuck y'all want to do it. I think they're sponsored by Nissan now, right? Go down there and go reserve him a room in the Heisman house. Because if that's what we're gonna sit up there and hang it on, oh well, the freshman quarterback and he's not, bro. Give him the Heisman. Give him the Heisman if that's the case.
Yep.
Because why are we even having discussions about Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. and the other kid from LSU? Why are we talking about them? They obviously don't matter. They obviously don't matter because this guy was so good that he was the reason why Florida State went 13-0. Not the defense, not anything.
So what
that
if this
guy.
happens?
So go ahead and give him the Heisman right now.
So then what is going to be the excuse? Let's say, and I hate living in a hypothetical world, but hey, here we are. Let's say Alabama goes and they play Michigan. And they get obliterated.
I was gonna say, and they get dog walked. Then what happens?
Then what? Oh, well, Jalen Milroe's not really a quarterback. And but that's not what you're saying now, though. Because Michigan, what they can do, if Michigan controls that running game that Alabama has, Michigan's secondary is locking their receivers up. This is not the receivers that Alabama has had in years past.
I've been saying this since the beginning of the season, bro. I've literally been saying it since the beginning of the season, bro. This is probably the least, quote unquote, star-studded Alabama team that we've seen. They have no guys that you can look at and be like,